How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. The following scary images are leaving people on edge. But as always, before we dive in, remember to hit that subscribe button for more creepy content, just like this. Houses where menacing figures once lived have often been the setting of many a horror film. While they're terrifying themselves in the movie world, they become even more frightening when one visits these houses in real life. Slapped Ham viewer Christopher G proves why this is so, with the photograph he shared originally sent to him by a friend who visited an old home with plenty of history. In the photograph, we see a room that appears to be an attic with objects and furniture strewn about. While the camera's focus seems to be a pink chair covered with an American flag, something more sinister catches our eyes in the upper left-hand corner. Here we can make out a translucent figure standing and looking in the direction of the photographer. While the bottom half of the figure is harder to make out, the head of the figure is more defined, looking like a man with a darkened face. The photographer didn't initially notice the figure until the photo was posted online. The figure becomes even more frightening once the history of the house is brought into context. The house once belonged to Captain George Conrad Flavel, who moved into the home with his wife and son in 1901. The house was passed down to Captain George Conrad Flavel's son, Harry Flavel, who lived there with his wife and 2 children until he died in the 1950s. But it was in the 1940s when trouble first started. Harry Flavel's son, Cory S, attacked a neighbour with a hatchet in 1947. After the incident, the Flavels became ostracised by the rest of the neighbourhood, living as recluses in the home. 40 years later, Cory S went on to randomly attack a neighbour's car with a chain. He eventually stabbed the neighbour too. He served 7 years in prison, and when he returned, the family quickly moved out of the house where it was abandoned for nearly 20 years. Having housed a man who was prone to attacking those around him, the question arises, could the creepy figure caught in the photograph be the spirit of Cory S, displeased with visitors to his once territory? Or could it be that a spirit with evil intent perhaps drove Cory S to these violent actions? Both theories, coupled with this photo, make for an unsettling conclusion either way. Yearbooks can already be scary enough thanks to awkward adolescents forever captured in photographs. But what if something else, equally as harrowing, is caught on camera? Slapped Ham viewer Cory S offers viewers the chance to see something not commonly seen in yearbook photos, in his dad's 1984 book. Upon first glance, viewers of the black and white photograph see 2 young women sitting on a couch in white dresses, smiling for the camera. There are windows that seem to show the trees outside of the house or perhaps a building in the back. Upon closer inspection, viewers can suddenly see something else, what appears to be a man standing behind the window on the left. He appears to be wearing a cap with his hands crossed in front of him, looking directly into the camera. Cory S explains that his father and his father's high school classmates could never identify who the man was in the photograph. While some have suggested that the picture could simply be a case of double exposure, Cory S denies this due to the man's position behind the window frame. Could this man just be a reflection, or could it be a ghostly figure who wanted to leave his mark? Love to get your thoughts on this one in the comments section below. Most of the time, when people hear strange sounds in their house, they can be explained by a house settling, the weather outside, or other housemates moving about. Reddit user Oopy Spoopy Man began to hear strange noises in his kitchen, but this time, something far more terrifying may have been to blame. In the photograph, we see a hallway that leads to a kitchen. The part of the kitchen we can see initially looks dark, though there seems to be a strange blur to the left of the door. When we zoom in on the picture, the blur takes on a horrifying shape. The blur comes into focus to show what looks to be a man's head turned to the side, completely white with dark eyes gazing at the photographer. Initially, many other Reddit users couldn't see any shape. When they were able to look at the picture closer, they completely freaked out and began to come up with many different theories. The original Reddit poster claimed that his housemates were all out of the apartment when the picture was taken, and that there's simply no way to explain what was captured on film. He ended up deciding to move out of the residence and in with his family, too scared at the possibility of seeing the figure once again. While some skeptics bring up the potential that the figure could be someone in a mask, such as Michael Myers as seen in Halloween, most agree that the original poster shouldn't take the chance of staying in the residence. So what do you think that mysterious face could be? Love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Taking pictures in the mirror is usually a fun activity for most people to do together. Unfortunately for Reddit user Bedaily13, what was supposed to be a fun mirror picture with her sister turned into an unnerving mystery. In the picture, we see a fogged up mirror with a finger-drawn heart right in the middle, presumably with the sister's name scribbled inside of it. We can also make out the two sisters posing, but what we see in between the girls is what makes this photo a scary puzzle. In between the sisters are what seem to be two ghostly figures, with one standing above the other as they both look into the mirror with the girls. The original poster explained that her house was originally built in the 1960s, but there was no abnormal history that took place in the house that she knows of, even after doing some extensive research on its background. Other Reddit users suggested that the two boyish figures could have been siblings in another time, who wanted to join in on the photo and believe there's no huge threat to the girls. Still, the mystery of who these boys are and why they chose this particular house to appear is a puzzle to everyone who's seen the photo. Yetis have been a source of debate among individuals across the globe for thousands of years in history, derived from Himalayan folklore. In the West, the Yeti is commonly referred to as the abominable snowman, with many individuals having reported seeing evidence of them in various parts in the West and East alike. Could Scott Yeoman have spotted one outside of his home in Bailey, Colorado, as seen in these photographs from 2017. Yeoman's photographs immediately give viewers a chill. Prior to snapping the pictures, Yeoman claimed that he had entered his living room and quickly noticed a terrible stench that smelled like a combination of animal waste and vomit. He first thought the stench could be emitting from a bear, but one glance out of his window completely changed his mind. In the photos that he took with his Kodak, we can see what appears to be a Neanderthal-like being with long, scraggly hair, a wide, flat nose, a face covered in marks, and piercing black eyes peering into the room. Yeoman claimed that once he grabbed his gun, the creature quickly disappeared into the woods. He called the police, who arrived and examined the photos. Two of the policemen were equally as puzzled as Yeoman, while a third insisted it was simply a bear outside of the window. Commentators of the photographs had varying opinions, with one suggesting that it could have been an escaped gorilla, and yet another offering the idea of Bigfoot. The shape and form of the figure's face is certainly strange and could be many different things. Take a look at the photos and judge for yourself. As hospitals are commonly associated with death, it's perhaps no surprise that there have been countless sightings of strange ghostly shapes and figures around them for years. Kitt Williams' mother-in-law was yet another individual who had a peculiar experience in her hospital room in Brisbane, Australia. In the unsettling photograph, the camera is pointed towards the ceiling of a hospital room. In the mid-right view of the photograph, we can see an air vent. While most of the vent looks normal, we can see a strange yellow-brown shape on the left-hand side that seems to peer out eerily into the room. What makes this bizarre figure even scarier is that the mother-in-law claims the shape would blink and look around the room as if inspecting her from above. Even more terrifying, the mother-in-law claimed that she would feel others touching her and waking her up, but no one was around when she would wake up. Others who have viewed the photograph suggested that the figure could simply be a small animal, such as a possum, that have been known to crawl around air vents. Others believe this figure could be something paranormal with sinister intentions. Further still, some have suggested it could be a peeping Tom that has crawled into the vents for a better view. Either way, there's no denying that this air vent is definitely home to something that shouldn't be there. While the purpose of motion sensing cameras is often to keep individuals inside a residence safe from things outside of it, sometimes it's the inside forces that pose the biggest threat. Slapcam viewer Phil Hayball offers evidence of this with a photo he shared of a friend's house in the United Kingdom. In the picture, the motion sensing camera is pointed at the front door. This time there's no need to zoom in to get a closer look. The petrifying figure is clear as day, hovering right in front of the entrance to the home. The large figure, semi-transparent, seems to be wearing a large cloak or trench coat that covers its body except for its large dark hand hanging from a sleeve. The head of the enormous figure is cut off by the top of the image. There's no denying that a strange figure is in this photograph, though what this figure could be is a mystery to all who see it. Phil Hayball says he has no further information on the figure or what it could possibly be, making this one of the more head-scratching motion sensing camera puzzles we've seen. Is there anything scarier than a family picture gone wrong? Chris Downing soon discovered that perhaps nothing is, with a family picture that was taken with his children in 2012. The picture first appears to be a normal family photo, with Chris Downing sitting in the middle, his daughter to the viewer's right and son to the left. The family all seem to be perfectly happy, smiling for the camera, but a look at the son's leg begins to paint a different picture. On the son's leg appears to be a small hand that seems to grip onto him, which comes from no discernible body or another figure that we can tell. Downing explained that a week after the photo was taken, his daughter called him and frighteningly pointed out the hand that was gripping the son's leg. None of the family members were able to explain the hand in the photo initially, though Downing soon came up with an idea. Prior to the photo being taken, Downing had suffered a drug overdose, where he had temporarily passed away before coming back to life soon after. Downing believes the only logical explanation of the hand in the photo is that a ghost or spirit came back with him from the afterlife. Most of the commentators of the photo are quick to disclaim the picture, simply suggesting the hand could be one of a relative out of the shot. However, the family has been adamant that no one else was in the room beside the photographer. Dying and coming back to life is a very rare medical occurrence, so it's definitely not hard to believe that something just as unusual could have joined him on his journey back to reality. Just a reminder, if you have your own scary photos or videos that you'd like to share with the community, head to our subreddit. If it's scary enough, we may feature them in an upcoming episode. As always, there's a link in the description box below. When it comes to what we may see in space, extraterrestrial or otherwise unexplainable life is to be expected for some. After all, much of space remains unknown to humans, including what could inhabit other planets. The Curiosity rover managed to capture a photo of a very strange object indeed, located on Mars, now nicknamed the Martian Rose. In the Curiosity rover's picture, we see what appears to be a large rock formation on Mars, with nothing particularly out of the ordinary. With a closer look, we can spot what appears to be a small object that seems to be sticking out vertically from the sand. At the top of the object sits a round formation that seems to face up towards the sky. Space fanatics soon began to speculate about what the object could be, ruling out the possibility of another rock, instead suggesting that it could be either a plant or mushroom. The top of the object looks like a flower that is yet to bloom, where the Martian Rose got its nickname. So what do you think? Could there really be a plant on the surface of Mars, or is it just a trick of perspective? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Before we take a look at an eerie photo taken at a recently deceased estate, remember to hit that subscribe button, then tickle that little bell icon there and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be in the loop every time we drop our scary videos. Also, remember to take that thumbs up button out on a romantic date. Take your time, get to know it, and in the coming weeks form a special bond, maybe even invite it to move in with you. Many individuals post eerie pictures and videos on social media in hopes that others can explain the creepy stuff that they've seen. Facebook user Tyler Thornton did just that, with the photos he uploaded of what was supposed to be a completely empty house in Victoria, Australia. The photo, taken at the house of the Facebook user's recently deceased father, is a close-up of a window. Here, viewers see a glimpse of the kitchen, but what stands inside of it is what's gone on to divide the internet. Standing to the viewer's left of the kitchen is what appears to be a tall man holding and looking down at something. The man's face and body look grey and hard to make out, but stand out clearly across the black background. The uploader of the photo emphasises that no one was home when the photos were taken, and other Facebook users quickly began to post theories as to who the man could be. Some automatically suggested a ghost, resembling a man who's doing the dishes, while another user wondered if the man could be a squatter. The photo still divides viewers today, with no definite answer as to who the figure is ever given.
If you want to see some more freaky photos, then check out that link on the top there. Otherwise, this creepy playlist here will keep you entertained for hours and hours. Leave us a comment down below which one of these photos you thought was the weirdest or scariest. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.